L.A., they got the owner of an import company. He imports condoms into this country. And he tried to bribe a customs official because they discovered that the condoms all were leaky. And the guy said, hey, man, can't you just overlook this?
Huh?
I mean,
overlook leaky condoms?
Yeah, so what do you think? What do you think he offered the Food and Drug Administration inspector to overlook 430,000 potentially leaky condoms?
430,000? I'd say he offered it a few $1,000s.
How much? Give me a number. Give me a number. 5,000? What do you think, Jackie?
I was going to say 5.
Fred?
I say 2.
You read that, you bet.
No, I didn't. I swear to God.
$2,000.
Because I was trying to figure out the profit margin.
Jackie would offer him $2. But if
Jackie would have just taken him in.
Hey, man, I didn't know.
Oh, no.
I'm a hippie.
I'll catch you on the next batch.
I absolutely did not know.
Oh, we'll roll it.
Anyway, the point I'm making is that I would think you'd have to bribe a guy a whole lot of money to make him. I mean, that's leaky condoms.
Right. But
that's
you know
so
what?
wrong.
These people always think, the guy only makes so much money.
What's a guy get? What's the maximum sentence you can give a guy for trying to sneak in, bribe a customs official, do all this kind of stuff? Sneak in leaky condoms. What's the maximum sentence?
10 years.
Fred?
I'd say a year.
Yeah, it's probably real small, and that's dangerous, too.
14 months in jail. And I'm with you. That should be
horrible.
life.
It should be 10 years.
Should be life in prison.
It should be scary. No wonder people do this.
Right. It's worth it. And he probably won't do a day of jail time. The FDA has warned consumers not to use the following condoms. I don't think I've seen some of these condoms in the back of dirty magazines.
What names do we have here?
Pamatex, I never heard of them. Maxi, that sounds like a pad. This is the one I think I've actually seen. Blackjack condom. That's cool. That's for bikers. Blackjack condoms.
Yeah, guys got to have a restroom.
Well, you find them in the back of High Times magazine.
Some bar restroom.
Isn't it amazing that a guy can get 20 years for buying pot or even distributing pot?
Well, you know what I was going to start off? They're having sting operations now. Undercover cops are running around trying to sell people marijuana, and then if they buy it, they arrest them.
Yeah, I'm for that, because you know where they're doing that? Giuliani's behind this, and I love Giuliani. You know that.
He's a great guy.
They do it in the park all the time, and now you can actually walk in the parks because these guys are afraid to deal pot in the parks.
Well,
they were attracting a real seedy element. I like it. I'm for the legalization of marijuana, but that's why I'm for it, because I don't want these guys selling it.
Why are we bothered with this stuff? It's a stupid situation.
Got to do it to clean up the park. It's the only way you can get these guys out of there.
If it was legal, there wouldn't be a park situation.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, but it's not. So Giuliani's doing the right thing. I'm for it, because what happens is you can't, the park, if you notice, people are now able to walk through the parks.
Marijuana people always want to be in the park.
Because it's fun, it's beautiful, it's peaceful. Peaceful! What is it?
I go to that park practically every day. And
looking for pot?
No, there's no.
I got my own bod.
There's not one day where I don't get propositioned by someone with the cops there.
Right.
Like 40 feet away from a cop. The guy's like, yo, you want something? You want something?
Because they don't care. Because they're not going to do any jail time. That's what I'm saying. Legalize the stuff already. It's already legal.
It's a ridiculous waste of time.
Yeah. I had to get my do's ends.
They did.
What are you doing in the bog? What do you do? Did you enjoying?
Cobb and Reeve.
Well, it's either like...
Do you gob?
Nah, I wouldn't cop. One time,
One time you gobbed?
Someone copped oregano off some guy in the park.
Yeah, I believe it.
So where do you get your pot these days?
Where do you get bod? From the guy's house in the refrigerator.
Just different.
I know a guy who got a supermarket in his house.
Yeah?
Okay,
supermarket of pot?
He's got a kitchen. He's cleared out everything out of his kitchen. He's got refrigerators. And you go up to the refrigerator, and you open the door, and on one shelf is, Maui Wowie, or whatever the hell he calls it.
He's got them labeled?
Got them labeled, and you go through the refrigerators, and you look at different kind of pot.
There's delivery services, too.
Yeah.
You paid somebody.
Pope Pot used to have that. They were always busting him before he died.
But he, made it very clear what he was doing, and he claimed it was a religion and all that.
Yeah, good luck.
Silliness.
Yeah, they're having a hard enough time claiming Scientology is a religion. Pope Pot has got a religion going. Where do you cop, Jackie?
Anyway.
The supermarket.
Hardly smoke pot anymore.
I don't believe that.
No, that's the truth.
Well, whatever you say.
Huh.
Since he became an author.
He made a whole vacation out of it, but he hardly smokes it.
All right, he went to Amsterdam. He smokes plenty. You know when he says he hardly smokes?
That means
like
what?
every weekend at least. That means like maybe during the week he's cut down.
I see.
Am I right?
A little last night.
Yeah, you see?
See? You can't trust his words.
Love my pot.
So anyway, be careful out there if you're buying pot. It could be an undercover police officer.
That's right.
They call it marijuana, and before this song is done, we'll explain to all you people how this outlaw causes fun. See, pot don't make you older, and pot don't make you fat. It just makes you feel real friendly, and you know that's where it's at.
Ramblings of a madman.
We once had a party.
49 years old today.
All the crazies, old and young, you name them, they were there.
Yeah.
Music blasting, drinking booze, running all about, making small talk by the keg and checking each other out.
Ding, 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 ding.
The nozzle and his orchestra were downstairs setting up. We were chugging beers that just kept filling up my cup. I knew something was missing, something seemed all wrong. We needed something else to get us off on that first song. Then we smoked a reefer and everybody changed. Got funnier and friendlier, our heads were rearranged. Everything got groovy and no one felt alone. And everybody thanked the gal who casted that first song.
Such an important song. You know, I begged him when I was over his house this summer. I begged him to do this song live.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't do
We
it.
all wanted it.
Whatever I want, he won't do. Belligerent bastard. You alcoholic.
Can't remember the words. What was that?
I don't remember the words. I said to the guy, would you do me that song, please, live? But as soon as
It's a very hard thing to pull
as soon as I want the song, then it's over.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. F you.
I did it.
He did it all right.
Did it and did it.
I can't handle it. Go ahead.
The day you wanted to hear it, you couldn't hear it.
No.
The best thing about these things is when they round up stars or something, but I don't
Yeah.
think so far.
David Lee Roth. He's always getting busted in the park.
So far, they arrested 72 people in a 3-day crackdown last week in Washington Square Park in Manhattan, and the crackdown could soon be expanded to 6 parks in Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, and Queens.
Wow.
So there.
You know, I have a computer in front of me. Stuttering John, screens some calls out there to see if anything good's coming in. Every once in a while, like an item will pop up on the computer, and I try to ignore it during your newscast. But this one was like, line 2, Frank has anal sex with his dog. And it's like, and I'm trying to
How do you
concentrate.
ignore that?
Yeah, I'm trying to concentrate, and it just throws me.
Bend over, Robert.
You know what? I'm going to ignore it.
All right.
I mean, come on.
You sure?
What do you
How?
think? What do you mean how? Because what is he going to say?
I don't know.
I mean, come on.
That's fine.
It's ridiculous.
How long has this been going on?
All right, you see,
Female.
how long has this been going on?
For about 2 months.
Okay, what kind of dog?
He's a Labrador Retriever.
It's a he?
Oh, that's gay. That's gay.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you have anal sex with your dog because it's a boy but if you had a
You
girl,
have no other choice?
yeah, and if you had a girl dog, you wouldn't have anal sex. You would have regular kind of sex.
Just around when I'm horny, so I take it
How old is this person?
How old are you?
to 25.
Oh,
I can hardly hear you. Why is that?
wouldn't you be too embarrassed to speak?
No, come on, speak up.
I have a very quiet voice.
I'll say. Where is this dog now?
He's in the other room.
How many times have you done this to him?
About 4.
And he holds still while you do this?
He enjoys it, I believe.
Why are you doing this?
You can't get a girl.
He walks into the room with his ass towards me now.
Oh, stop
All right, get out of here.
You're full of
A
it.
maniac. Yeah, all right. Go ahead. He backs into the room.
And nobody's going to pick up on that.
And don't you, in fact, have pictures of Jackie that you took? They're in your book?
Yeah, I want my pictures back.
There's a copyright.
All right, yeah, go ahead, Robin.
Ooh. A freshman member of Congress has died after collapsing at a Washington airport, Howard. That's not funny. California Congressman Walter Capps apparently had a heart attack.
Walter Caps, that's what Gary's name ought to be. He's got bad caps.
Gary Caps.
Gary Bad Caps.
The 63-year-old Democrat died last night as he was returning from his Central California home. Caps narrowly won election last year in a Santa Barbara district that has been held by Republicans since World War II.
He died of a heart attack on his way home?
Yeah.
Where did he die? Do they say? Do they give the
He was
details?
at the airport.
Wow, that's so embarrassing. I hope I die at home where no one can see me die. I don't, really, to be in an airport and collapse, I would be just so ashamed.
Well, that always is embarrassing
It
because
is.
you can tell, usually oops, something's going very badly, and now you're down and you can't do anything about it.
The other day I was running outside and I was going so fast. I said, I'm starting to feel my heart. I said, slow down, because you know what? You don't want to die while jogging. It'd just be, just be embarrassing. Radio DJs goofing on you and stuff.
Of course, there'll be, just graphic details of what happened to you.
Right. Oh, yeah, you'll know every last second. There's no privacy.
So don't do it.
Right.
Who are the richest people in music in Great Britain?
Oasis.
No.
Oh, Spice Girls.
No.
Beatles.
Nope.
Stones.
Nope.
The richest in music?
Yep.
In England?
Mm-hmm.
Rock and roll?
Yep.
Bad Company. Bad Finger. Bad Finger. Somebody sent me a videotape. The story of Bad Finger.
Oh, God.
They made a video of this. It was the most pathetic story you've ever seen. There was 4 guys.
Aren't most of them
Yeah, one of them killed himself because they made a lot of money and they got completely ripped off by somebody.
Wow.
And they
after all their big hits. They
took
still
all
had
their
nothing.
money, and it was like 1,000,000 to 1 odds. The Beatles recognized them.
That's right.
Beatles wrote songs for them. They wrote their own songs.
They had a ticket.
And another guy killed himself. And I'm watching this tape. I go, why am I watching this?
It's the president.
This is a story of Badfinger. God. Richest in
Great Britain.
Great Britain, not the Beatles, not the Stones, not the Dave Clark 5, not the Animals, not the Stones, not the Spice Girls. George Michael?
Nope.
This has got to be weird, huh?
No, it's not weird.
Group or solo act?
Solo act.
I mean, Prince, he's from Minneapolis. Jimi Hendrix wasn't from England, although a lot of people thought he was because he went over to England and became
That's
famous.
where he got discovered, yeah.
Not Dave Clark from the Dave Clark 5.
Said that already.
Yeah, I'm going to say Petula Clark.
Oh!
Why
Elton
not
John.
Dusty Springfield?
Elton John?
Nope.
Not Elton John?
Not Elton John.
You know this one, Fred? Don't say it if you do.
I was going to say
He said
Elton.
Oh.
Nope.
Not the Beatles.
Rock and roll? It's got to be someone in rock and roll. That's the only music that
Yeah,
makes
what
money.
other music makes money?
Got to be a white guy. There's hardly any black people in England. Let's see. I'm going to say the following artist. In music. All right?
Listen to you.
I'm gonna
it's not
say-
a game show. Come on.
All right, this is my final answer, okay? And then you're going to tell us the answer. All right? I'm going to say it's not Elvis Presley. Is he living or dead?
Living.
Living right now,
Yeah.
as we speak.
As
He's
we
available.
speak.
Single
last
or married?
I checked.
Let's see. I'm going to say the following artist. I can't even think of another artist. Not the Beatles? I'm going to say the following artist. Who?
Benny Hill.
That's your last one? The Who?
The Who.
No.
Who?
It's David Bowie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What?
Because he just sold his whole catalog, I think, for $42 million.
They say that he is worth $919 million.
Get out of here.
More than McCartney.
That makes him one of the richest,
Wow.
the 25 richest people in the United Kingdom. He edges out Paul McCartney, who's a close second at $868 million.
Wow. Bowie's got some great
Guess
tunes.
who is third? You will be blown away by who
Spice
is
Girls.
third. Nope.
I'm going to tell you who right now. The Who.
No.
Who?
George.
I'll tell you who.
The third rock and roller or third?
The third,
The third richest musician from Great
Eric
Britain.
Clapton.
Wrong. This will blow your mind. You say, David Bowie, I guess I
Well,
can
you can
see
understand that.
But you will not believe this one.
Keith Richards.
Now, you've talked about Elton John, You've talked about Mick Jagger. You've talked about
Who? All right, who?
Tom Jones.
Get out of here.
What are
Really?
you saying?
Yes.
No.
Tom Jones is number 3.
Sure that's not the list for who's got the biggest penis?
$460 million.
Wow.
What are you saying?
That's amazing.
Following him is Phil Collins.
Wow. Where's Rod Stewart?
Rod Stewart's not on this list.
He's in the hospital.
Rumors die.
He's a dickweed.
The first women to show up on the list are the Spice Girls.
Wow.
They say that they're number 42 on this list, and they are each worth $24 million.
Boy, that don't sound right.
Oh, groovy.
I don't believe that for a
I
moment.
don't either. I think that's a lie. I think they're lying when they say that.
I
I
don't
hope-
even know how you come up with a number like that.
I hope the same thing happens to them that happened to Badfinger. Badfinger.
that a bad documentary will come out of their lives.
You have to see this documentary. You'd be so bored because you don't care about Badfinger.
Yeah, it's like, who are they?
I watched the whole thing.
Who gives a crap?
Right.
It's amazing. But isn't that wild that Tom Jones is worth $460
Yeah,
million?
that is pretty mind-blowing. It's pretty mind-blowing about
Sheesh.
Bowie, too. Bowie's got some great tunes, though. I wish I had the Bowie retrospective. You got it live from the Philadelphia Spectrum?
What's going on over
What's
here?
going on?
So the building across the street's on fire.
Oh, wow. Look at that. We got a shot of it.
And it's really cool. There's that little, you know that little chute, Howard, where there's like a fan or something?
Yeah.
The fire keeps coming up through that, and they keep putting it out. It just keeps coming back.
Wow,
There
we've
it
got
goes
videotape of it.
This has been going on for like 10 minutes now.
I want to go live on television with this.
Chopper one.
Our building across the street's on fire, and it's shooting out of the... So that means the whole inside's on fire, don't it?
I guess so, yeah, because that flame's going to come back again.
Who are those firemen up there?
Yep.
Yeah, look.
Are those the guys who were supposed to put out Jasmine St. Clair?
No.
It's Jasmine.
Where'd you go?
Wow, that's pretty wild.
They're roofers, and the tar keeps catching fire.
Oh, is that what it is? So the whole
Oh,
inside
so
of the
it's not
building
the
is-
whole building.
No, see, if you look, it's like a little barbecue that they got, and they're heating up the tar.
Oh.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
So it's not a fire
We all
at
think
all.
we all think we're watching a fire.
Oh, you
I've been
guys.
doing that for a couple of days.
Alarmists.
They ain't fine.
I like that Grillo knows what's going on and you don't.
Guys, those are just some guys in the building.
No, they're roofers, and they've been, look, there's tar all the way over in the right-hand
Is that
corner.
the same building where we saw the naked chick sunbathing?
Actually, she was 2 buildings over to the left.
Yeah. We got a lot of interesting stuff going on in these buildings.
Wow.
We had a whorehouse in one of the buildings across the street.
Allegedly.
Did you hear the rumor?
Allegedly nothing. That was a whorehouse, man. I saw what was going on. Ain't no allegedly nothing.
Howard, did you hear the big rumor about the whorehouse?
What?
What?
There was a lot of firemen out there one day. It was like
Yeah.
the whole block was closed down, and then the guy in the garage downstairs told me that the pimp got mad and threw gasoline on 2 of the whores and burned them up.
Oh, get out of here.
Come
I
on.
swear
I heard, no, you know why I know that's not true? Because they closed down the whorehouse because there was so much pressure in the neighborhood here that
Yeah,
everyone
the
was...
business people didn't like it.
Yeah, they were distributing flyers because I got a flyer. They wanted me to help them get rid of the whorehouse. I was like, no, I'm enjoying watching it.
All right, turn that off. We don't have a fire.
Oh, it looks cool.
Those
All right,
are
turn
just
that up.
roofers, not firefighters.
I thought we were covering a live event.
World stock markets have been up all day, but the word watch from experts is
Be careful.
it's not over yet.
Uh-oh.
So don't just think that everything's now recovered, but they always say that.
Right.
An economist at the Nomura International in London says there's still room for a lot of volatility.
I've learned not to pay attention to it.
The key index in London has been higher all day in the 2 to 3% range. Main stock indexes in Paris and Frankfurt are up 3 to 4.5%. The European markets are feeding off yesterday's big gains in New York and today's gains of nearly 19% in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Jackie made a lot of money today.
Yeah? He made back some of that he lost?
Oh, yeah. He's on a roller coaster like you wouldn't believe.
Well, what are you
I'll tell you,
going
the stock market is like a whore. It keeps going up and down. As you know, Robin. Anyway, what else is in the news?
Well, of course, we're all still consumed with the story about the man who is now in Rikers Island, 20-year-old man who has who's HIV positive and who apparently was having sex like a madman, a banshee, running around in upstate New York, having sex with young girls, and now they're saying he probably had sex with 50 to 75 women here in New York City.
Wow.
They are now looking for those people. His name
Wow.
is Nushan Williams. He had a number of different aliases under which he traveled.
If you had the name Nushan, you'd have different names, too. Nushan.
Well, his other names weren't all that good either. One of them was Shy Teak Johnson?
Oh, really? Shatik Johnson. I plead guilty, Your Honor. I just think the guy ought to write a book, man. I like to know how he scored with so many chicks.
Jesus.
You say coke, but I don't know.
But what? You don't.
A lot of guys with coke running around out there with no chicks.
Especially when you have nothing, nothing to lose.
Yeah, high school chicks.
And that's sort of the way they found him. They say up in this Chautauqua County, they kept having young girls come in.
No, it wasn't Chautauqua County. In fact, that was one of his aliases. His name is Chautauqua Johnson.
These girls would come in, and they were mostly young and mostly high school girls. And they said, well, what's this? And then they finally figured out that the common denominator in all these stories was this guy Williams.
Wow.
So now 75 or 50 to 75 women in New York could have also been exposed. They say he is cooperating. At least 2 of the girls he had sex with are believed to have become pregnant.
Wow. What a dick.
He originally, they don't know how he became pregnant, but because of his promiscuity, that could have been the cause.
How he got HIV.
What did I say?
How he became pregnant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
but-
He didn't become pregnant.
Because if he did that, that's a whole news story.
He's HIV positive. He came in to be treated for at some clinic to be treated for a venereal disease.
I see. And then
And
he
they
found out.
also asked him, why don't you just get the free AIDS test along with this?
Right.
He agreed, and that's how they determined that he was HIV positive.
And then he just went out and had, oh, man, this guy
Yeah,
had
that
tons
was
of
like
sex.
last year he found that out, and since then he's been spreading the good cheer. And they say he never told any of these people that he was HIV positive.
He's a murderer. That's really what he is, and he should be given the death sentence.
They're now considering charges like statutory rape against him as well,
Right.
because so many, or at least several of the women involved have been minors.
Yeah, we need to get this guy locked up. I mean, for life, as long as he lives.
Well, that's what Governor Pataki would like
Yeah.
to do.
He's great.
Say he is a sexual predator.
Right. I mean, he could end up being like Magic Johnson, get rid of his AIDS, and then get out of jail or something. We don't want that. Magic Johnson got rid of his AIDS?
Well, they are saying that you can't detect it
Wow.
when you do a blood test.
See, I told you there's a way to get rid of AIDS. You just got to be rich.
There are other rich people who have not
Really?
managed that, Howard, yes. Don't you think that...
You're telling me Magic Johnson's so smart, he invented the cure for HIV?
No, he's just been very diligent about getting the proper treatment.
Really?
And maybe it was caught quite early, that
Wow.
sort of thing.
Jeez. I heard of this. All the people spared. Magic Johnson. Amazing.
The Nanny case continues.
Yes, the Nanny case. I'm following that on Court TV.
Oh, let's just get back to this new Sean Williams case for 1 second. Here's Robert Burke, who is the health commissioner of Chautauqua County. He says New York City people could have been affected.
What's his name?
Robert Burke.
Oh, boy. You got a number on that?
Number 8.
Thank you. You got to help me with this, man. I never saw so many tapes.
New York City is reporting the potential of 50 to 75 primary contacts that this individual has given up in an interview last week. So that could be significant.
Wow.
That means 28 up there, 50 to 75 down here. When did he have time to sell drugs?
I never could get laid like that. I seen a picture of this guy. He ain't that good looking.
And we're talking in a year.
I know. Amazing. His penis should write a book.
Just amazing. So anyway, that's his deal. The Nanny case, the British nanny who is on trial for the death of the child who was left in her care, has gone to the jury yesterday, closing arguments. The prosecution said that she is a little actress, an aspiring actress, who is trying to lead you to believe that she did nothing to this child. However, they say she murdered this child. Her defense attorneys say that no one knows what happened to this baby and that the state is just trying to blame this young girl. Barry Scheck gave a part of the closing arguments. He, of course, famous from the O.J. Simpson trial. Here's a little bit of his Jewish New York style, according to O.J., in closing arguments yesterday, as he tells us that this girl cannot be found guilty because of her lifestyle.
What is on trial in this case is whether the prosecution has proved beyond a reasonable doubt its contention that on February 4th, Louise Woodward took Matthew Eapen and slammed him down onto a fixed hard surface, fracturing his skull and causing a subdural hematoma, or violently shook him with his head snapping back and forth. Those are the contentions on trial here and nothing else. The prosecution has not proved it. They cannot prove it. They haven't even come close.
I would do her.
Thank you, would you?
Right.
Did you see that girl? Did you watch any of her testimony?
Yes, I did.
I would do her.
I saw her, yeah.
Would you have her name?
No. It's very hard to find a good nanny.
What are people doing? I mean, maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm using 20/20 hindsight.
Right.
But she looks awfully peculiar.
She looks a little weird.
She has a strange affect.
Yeah, and let's face it, she ain't no nanny. She's a babysitter. When did she become a nanny?
Would you leave your child alone with this person?
All right.
It's amazing. Also in the news.
Unless you didn't like your kid.
You're trying to get rid of
Right.
They have named 2 female referees
All right.
for the National Basketball Association.
That's sexy.
This is the first time that any major male sport has had females officiating.
Are they hot?
I don't know, Howard. That
What will
would be
they
something
wear?
for you to determine. But the 2 are Dee Kantner and Violet Palmer.
I'm
Now,
for that.
you've got me aroused.
Kantner is 37 and Palmer is 33.
37, 33, what?
That's no.
Oh.
Those are not measurements.
I
Those
see.
are ages, Howard.
Oh.
Here are a couple of people from the NBA to say what they. First of all,
37.
they immediately asked Charles Barkley, and he of course doesn't think it's right.
He doesn't.
No, but he's got other problems that I think he should dwell on, like throwing people through plate glass windows.
Right.
Here's Dennis Rodman, who says he won't treat them any differently than he would anybody else.
He loves it.
Well, if I say to a man, I say to a woman. I'm not trying to offend her or nothing like that, but she has to take that, as a frustrating comment, that's all.
He's already apologized for something he didn't say.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I got to do this.
The things I'm going to say to you are going to be bad, and you're going to have to take it.
Take it.
And he's telling him in advance he's frustrated. He didn't even know the circumstance.
He knows he's going to be frustrated.
Right.
And here is Michael Jordan, what he thinks of the NBA move of naming 2 female officials.
You have to have
Our plans on screwing them.
most respect for them in the sense that certain things you do with other referees you can't really say. Can't pat them on the butt anymore.
Sure you can.
So you have to be cautious.
What are you
of those
patting
things.
guys on the butt for?
Treat them like people, and not disrespect them.
Really?
They're patting referees on the butt?
Yo, ref, what you on your period, man? What you on your period?
I can't wait for some of those arguments. You know it's going to come into it.
Oh, yeah. C word going to be flying around.
Yeah. He'll never be able not to.
Gonna be great. Yeah.
John Denver died several weeks ago after the crash of his
experimental plane.
That's right, his Long EZ experimental plane. They have just gotten back the toxicology tests to determine what was going on with Mr. Denver at the time of that flight. Here is Sheriff Norm Hicks of Monterey County, California.
It was hard doing a toxicology report. They could only find his nose. So, very difficult.
We look for any kind of drugs, any kind of drugs that would come up in your system, period.
Like no acetol.
This can be prescription drugs, illegal drugs or whatever, and alcohol is alcohol. And again, we found no indication of any of that within his system.
No beers?
Nothing.
Wow.
So they say there was nothing of any substance kind of a situation to impair his judgment during that flight, and they haven't found any physical reason for that crash.
Right.
I guess we'll then have to go back and look at the plane.
Do they have pictures of it?
The president of China is here. He's going to meet with President Clinton today.
Who owns the pictures?
But a lot of people are upset that the president of China is here and that the United States is trying to improve relations with China because of the human rights abuses, they say, go on in that country. So here are some chanting protesters who have been in Washington nonstop since his arrival.
Stop the killings in Tibet! Stop the killings in Tibet! Stop the killings in Tibet!
What, he's speaking English?
Of course.
I first it didn't sound English. Oh, who cares? I agree with him.
And here's a Tibetan monk to tell us how he feels about this whole thing.
So many torturing is going on in Tibet. We said we need human rights in Tibet. And human rights is not only for Tibet, and in China too. So I think Bill Clinton should do something for human rights.
I'll go tell it to Richard Gere.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because tonight there will be a state dinner, of course, for Jiang Zemin.
Jiang Zemin? Jiang Zemin.
Who is the leader of China. And across the street or somewhere else in Washington, there will be a stateless dinner as well, at which Martin Scorsese, the director, and Richard Gere will attend, because they protest the state dinner for the leader of China. Here's Richard Gere, who's now appearing in a movie called Red Corner, who says that, they just have a bad system over there.
How would he know right from wrong? He married Cindy Crawford.
Asswipe. I was in Laos once 3 years ago. And on that trip, I also went to Tibet, which China controls as a colony, and is brutalizing them, the slave colony.
Well, he's really into Tibet, man.
Oh, yeah, he loves it over there.
Must be cool. Must have hot chicks.
He also says that it's, the Chinese people are okay, but not the system.
Oh, right.
It's that black and white. It's that clear. Yeah, the Chinese people are wonderful people, but it's a rotten system. It's a defunct, baldly brutal system.
I like the yellow gashish.
And he says he's very proud of his work in Red Corner, because it's a movie with substance.
We've made a very exciting movie, and I think what's good about this film is it's not wearing its message on its sleeve. It's in the fabric of the piece itself. It can't be separated from it. And we
It's in the fabric.
We don't have to.
Of the piece.
You just tell the truth.
Itself. It's in the fabric of the piece itself. Yeah, another great film. Yeah, go back to Pretty Woman, too. Work on that, all right? There was some fabric in that piece.
Oh, dear. Don't get upset. Don't get
upset.
upset.
All right, whatever. I'm going to tell you.
Let's see what else is going on here.
Please.
Jim Kelly, who is a former football star. He's a quarterback for what? The New England
Buffalo.
Patriots? Buffalo?
He was for Buffalo. I don't know now. Is it New England?
No, he's a commentator now.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's not, I don't think he's
But he used to play for Buffalo, right? Jim Kelly.
Buffalo. I couldn't remember which
Sandy
team.
Corn.
But anyway, now, does anybody know about this? He apparently got into some kind of an altercation with another quarterback, a playing quarterback, this past weekend at a game he was covering. And they are now saying that that quarterback has broken a finger or something.
Jim Kelly got in an altercation?
Yeah.
During the game? Like
the guy was on the sidelines because he was hurt from a previous injury.
Wow.
And then somehow he got into an altercation because Jim Kelly said he makes a lot of his injuries, I guess he was saying he would play with the kind of injuries this guy had.
Oh.
Yeah, he called him a wuss.
Right.
But what's funny is Jim Harbaugh's like a born-again Christian.
And he started throwing punches
he's
at
the
Jim Kelly?
Yeah, he's the one who threw the punch.
And did he hit him?
Yeah.
He hit Jim
so,
Kelly?
right?
I think so, and I think he hurt himself when he did that.
Yeah, he hurt his
now
hand.
He has another
hand is
injury.
hurt, yeah.
That's good.
And he's now on waivers because of a non-football injury.
But this is the guy, Howard, that, when he was in the playoffs, he was doing that whole God speech,
Right. Where was Jesus during the fight?
He was on Jim Kelly's side, I guess.
Right.
Well, anyway, Jim Kelly said, here's what he has to say about the whole thing.
Okay.
I can't take back what I said. That's been done. I said maybe sometimes things are said a little harsher than you intend them to be, but I wasn't going to back down from that. But the thing is, I respect what Jim means to professional football, and we talked about it. We settled our differences, and we left on a good note.
Yeah, but the guy can't play anymore. His hands hurt.
And Howard, that while he's injured, because of the nature of the injury, he doesn't get paid.
Wow.
That's right, because it was a non-football injury.
Right. That's right.
Wow.
Nice going, dickweed.
Meanwhile, Mike Ditka is back in coaching. He's now the coach of the New Orleans Saints, and he got angry yesterday when the press questioned him about who will be quarterbacking for the team this Sunday.
Doesn't matter which one run. There'll be a quarterback that'll be named next week that'll be the starter. There's 3 quarterbacks on this football team. Whichever one starts. Whichever ones don't, we'll back him up. Period. Cut and dry. It's nobody's concern but ours.
What's his problem?
Nobody's. Next.
Angry about it.
Talk to the trainer. Next.
You all right now?
Mike, why are you in such a bad mood?
What do you care? Okay. If you were 2-7, you'd be in a bad mood too. What next?
Wow.
Like, is this more like a training camp type practice as opposed to a regular season?
Yes. Next. Not very much fun, is it? No? Not at all. All right. I'll see you guys.
Wow.
You know, Ditka was doing commentary and you know, was on camera.
Yeah. So he was on the other side for a while and needed
That's
people
great.
to talk to him.
That's a great piece of tape, man. What's his problem? God damn, man. It's
He's
just
an
a game.
angry man.
You were 2-7, you'd be pissed too.
That big blockhead had smoke coming out.
I know, he's such a blockhead. Mike Ditka, all self-important. Listen to him in there.
Doesn't matter which one run. There'll be a quarterback that'll be named
Train
next
wreck.
week that'll be the starter. There's 3 quarterbacks on this football team. Whichever one starts. Whichever ones don't, we'll back him up. Period. Cut and dry. It's nobody's concern but ours. Nobody's. Next.
Injuries from the game.
Talk to the trainer. Next.
You all right now?
Mike, why are you in such a bad mood?
What do you care? Okay. If you were 2-7, you'd be in a bad mood too. What next?
Like, is this more like a training camp type practice as opposed to a regular season?
Yes. Next. Not very much fun, is it? No?
Not at all.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Go to hell.
Not very much fun, is it?
End a press conference.
Yeah. Not much fun, is it? My press conference. No, it's not.
An amazing man.
I had a social studies teacher who was the coach of the football team in high school. He was just like that. Yikes.
Ex-Marines?
He seemed like, I don't know if he was, but he was definitely a Marine wannabe. You know, and I had long hair, and I wasn't on the football
so
team.
you were not his favorite person.
He called me the dirty hippie.
Yardbird.
Stern is a hippie. Let's see what the hippie knows.
Oh, really? When he's calling you, he'd say that?
Yeah. You hippies. I used to do an impression of him for my parents. They were unsympathetic. You hippies don't understand the way things are. Here's a guy who wants to defend Ditka.
Okay.
Hello? Wait. Oh, sorry. Joe, you're on the air.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a dummy you are.
Thank you.
You said that, Ditka, it's only a game, and, you know, Ditka should take it easy.
Well, he should, man.
He should. What about you? What happens if you, when you did private parts and you made, $50 on the movie? What are you going to do then? You're not going to cry? You're not going to be mad?
If I make what? $50?
On your movie, when you made private parts. That's
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah, it's a business, but I'm happy about private parts. Where's the analogy?
Well, the analogy is that, you made money off private parts, and he might lose his job because his team isn't doing good. It's not only a game for him.
But I wouldn't come out and start yelling at some reporter. He didn't ask anything bad.
But the guy's in a bad mood. You're saying it's
Yeah,
only
but
a game.
sometimes I'm in a bad mood, and I keep it to myself. I don't have to take it out on other people.
Yeah, well, everybody's different, and you said the main thing is that you said it's only a game. It's not only a game. It's the guy's life.
Get out of here. His life is his life. It's a game.
It's a game. It's $2 million.
This guy's stupider than Ditka. Ditka's just an arrogant.
Blockhead too.
Ditka reminds me of every high school coach I ever
Tell
had.
Fats over there to shut up.
Oh, Jesus. How dare you. I'm going to hang up on you.
Shut up, you prick.
Anything else, Robin, in the news?
Yeah, speaking of fans, we're sitting there, we're talking about sports, and fans can get kind of crazy about these things, too. This happened in Huntsville, Alabama. They were broadcasting a football game. The Alabama-Mississippi game was in the first quarter of its broadcast when the TV station that was broadcasting it, WAFF-TV in Huntsville, decided to interrupt the game to issue a tornado warning.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the phone started ringing off the hook at the TV station. One person threatened to bring guns if the station didn't return to the game.
Right.
Another barged into the lobby to vent frustrations. The station's general manager says people need to realize we're serious about weather coverage.
You can do weather coverage while the game is on. You can scroll across the bottom or put a guy in a
As
circle.
for the football contest, he said, it's a game. It's not more important than saving lives.
It's not a game.
Still, he says that the station should have used a split screen to show the game and weather
Right.
coverage at the same
Yeah,
time.
of course.
But can you imagine? People came down to the station.
Well, that I understand. If you're going to broadcast a game, you can't. You know, they did that one year. They learned years ago during the Jet game. It was the finals. It was the Super Bowl.
No, it wasn't the Super Bowl. It was a playoff game.
Playoff game.
Heidi game.
Yeah, they ran. NBC, I think it was, had Heidi, the movie Heidi, scheduled to go after the football game. The football game ran late, and they just started Heidi. It was 2 minutes left, and the Jets were down in that game and ended up winning in the last 2 minutes.
It was, Howard, it was, I don't think it was a playoff game, but it was a pivotal game towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it was a
whether
big game.
the Jets were going to make the playoffs or not.
Right. Yeah, it was before they understood how important football was. They just cut off the end of the game. Could you imagine?
Lots of guys got fired for that.
Yeah. Well, it's so stupid.
Imagine Heidi's more important.
Yeah. Heidi.
I mean, it wasn't even
Well,
like
Heidi's one thing. A weather.
One thing, a tornado.
A tornado. Like, you know, it's a tough
tornado
call.
is a tough call.
I mean, Heidi's not a tough call.
You know, there is a thing like split screen for a
Yeah,
tornado.
Sure. Well, he figured that out, the guy from the
Yeah,
station.
guys don't care.
Up in, where is this? I think this is up in Massachusetts. There's a guy who, for 10 years, has been calling people up, posing as a gynecologist, and asking them if he can conduct a breast and vaginal test with them over the phone.
Dr. Jackie.
Yeah. And they think they finally caught him.
Yeah, how'd they
He's
catch him?
terrorized women in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. They say he was not just some nut. He was calling little girls, and some of them had to go in for counseling.
Wow.
They were so traumatized
Sure it wasn't
by this
Gilbert?
man. They say he used his limo service to find victims and had 3 phone lines in his house and a cellular phone on which he made calls targeting women and girls between the ages of 10 and 20 years old.
Wow.
He would call them and say he was a gynecologist and wanted to conduct a breast and vaginal test.
How do you do that over the phone?
I don't know exactly, but he would make them do a number of things to themselves, I suppose. And
Wow.
then, after he was finished, he would ask the victims if they had a younger sister, so he could do the same thing to her.
Imagine someone being that stupid. I don't care if you're 10. You should know better than that.
Yeah, what's really bad is the guy is married, but he doesn't have any children. The wife never suspected one thing with the 3 phones and all these shenanigans going on. The guy's on the phone all the time.
Yeah, but I bet she doesn't have breast or vaginal cancer.
He had to be arrested at gunpoint on Saturday in the bedroom of his home.
Wow. What do you put away a guy for that? I mean,
He's also been indicted for making pornographic movies of women in Bridgewater. Apparently, he met one woman as he was driving her for her prom, and he told her that he was going to make a commercial for his business.
Right.
So could she please, you know, he was hiring her to come back and do some shooting for a commercial, and then he had her change clothes in this one room where he had like a 3-way mirror or something.
That's wrong.
And got to see her that way, I suppose.
Wow.
So
Well, he was
he
busy.
up to all kinds of things.
He's a very busy guy between
They
his
say they know
movies and phone calls.
that he made 88 toll calls in one day from his house.
Wow, a lot of
They
breast
say
exams.
he was compulsive and unable to control himself.
How about the fact that he diagnosed 50 people with breast cancer and he saved their lives?
Even after he had been served with search warrants and had been arrested, he continued to make the phone call.
Hey, did you read who his college roommate was?
Who?
Newshawn. That guy.
Stop it. He was a good talker and could converse as if he was a gynecologist.
Wow.
So he really knew women.
Sure does. A lot better than I do. I can't get women's pants off in person,
He
let alone over the
victimized
phone.
women he drove to proms, weddings, and other social events.
Wow.
So at
Robin,
least they
I love
caught
your
him.
chest.
Thank you very much. Larry Flint's daughter wants Ohio authorities to charge her father with sexually abusing her.
Wow.
Tanya Flint Vega says the abuse took place from the time she was 9 years old until she was 18. But the 32-year-old woman says she repressed those memories until she saw The People versus Larry Flint, the movie.
Yeah, I know something's wrong with that guy. I know now, since I said I didn't like the movie, he's been writing nasty things about me in
the
Hustler.
magazine?
Yeah.
So what?
Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
So what? Who cares?
About how I'm filth and I'm a big nose and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But,
Well, he would know.
Yeah.
She says the movie sparked some memories. The state statute of limitation covering her claim is 6 years, beginning when a victim turns 18. But the Columbus police detective says in cases of repressed memories, the court or the count toward that counts toward the deadline, beginning only when the victim recalls the abuse. So maybe she can charge her father with abuse because she just began to remember these things. Larry Flint denies the allegations and says he has a great relationship with his other 3 daughters. So he doesn't know what this one is carrying on.
Sounds like we might have a sequel to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see that court case. Will that go all the way to the Supreme Court?
Yeah, Larry Flint's sex case.
Ellen DeGeneres and ABC, according to the Post today, have reached an agreement about what's going to happen on the sitcom. Ellen will get her storylines that include gay themes, and ABC will get their advisories.
Of course. They're trying to keep the show on the air. She's sitting and hocking them with a whether or not there should be advisories. Who cares? I mean, she's pushing their backs up against the wall. These people are trying to get the show on the air, and she's busy. I don't want an advisory in front of my show. Honey, what do you want ABC to do?
Well, I think ABC thought she could go back after announcing that she was gay last season. Maybe it could be like a Dallas episode and she dressed the whole thing.
That would have been cool. Yeah, you're not going to do more of that gay crap, are you? All right, for one show, it's all right. Don't do it the whole season.
So now it's going to be a gay show.
Right.
This is some brouhaha.
Once you go crack, you never go back. So ABC's got to run these stupid things at the beginning saying, don't watch this because...
If you're offended by...
Yeah, because they got it because the religious...
subject matter.
Religious wackos need that. They need to see that so they can decide what to watch. Dopes.
You said this earlier. A celebrity plastic surgeon has been charged with doing strange things to some of his celebrity clients. He's been accused of fondling, disrobing, and photographing them, as well as ridiculing them.
Yum, yum.
While they're under anesthesia. The Medical Board of California said that it's investigating Dr. Stephen Hoffman, a Hollywood plastic surgeon. The names of his alleged victims were not made public, but it's known that he has patients who include Michael Jackson, Elizabeth Taylor, Phyllis Diller, and Joan Rivers. They say that...
Wonder if he diddled Joan Rivers. Oh.
2 of Hoffman's former patients are supposedly cooperating with this investigation. 4 women formerly employed by the doctor have sued him for sexual harassment and reportedly claim that while one famous male patient was under anesthesia, he disrobed him and exposed his genitals.
Had to be Michael Jackson, right?
You know, he never used it, is what he said about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
They also charged that he pulled the blanket off a famous female patient and